Why does the American South resonate so profoundly with religious identity? Why do towns across states like Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee often feature more church steeples than commercial establishments? This phenomenon points to the Bible Belt, a region where faith has intricately woven itself into the fabric of politics, culture, and individual identity for centuries. For historians, religious scholars, and those deeply rooted in Southern heritage, understanding this unique landscape is crucial. Today, we embark on an analytical journey to uncover the historical, social, and theological forces that forged the South into America's distinctive stronghold of faith. The evocative term Bible Belt was first coined in the 1920s by the acerbic journalist H. L. Mencken. He used it, often derisively, to describe areas where conservative Protestant Christianity exerted overwhelming dominance over public life and social norms. Mencken observed a region where church attendance was not merely common, but nearly universal, and where sermons frequently shaped political discourse and community values. In these southern communities, the church was far more than a place of worship. It was the central institution around which life revolved. It served as a social hub, a moral compass, and often the primary source of education and welfare. For many, the church was not just an institution, it was, in essence, the culture, deeply embedding religious practice into daily existence. This cultural saturation distinguished the South from other American regions, creating a unique societal blueprint. The deep religious currents of the Bible Belt trace their origins back to the colonial era, long before the term itself existed. The 18th century witnessed the First Great Awakening, a powerful wave of religious revivalism that swept through the American colonies. This movement challenged the established Anglican Church, fostering the growth of more evangelical denominations like the Baptists and Methodists. These nascent denominations, with their emphasis on personal conversion and emotional experience, found fertile ground in the less structured, often frontier-like conditions of the southern colonies. Unlike the more intellectual and institutionally bound religious traditions of New England, Southern revivalism was characterized by its passionate, personal, and community-driven nature. It spoke directly to the hearts of ordinary people, embedding a fervent, experiential Christianity into the emerging Southern identity. The Second Great Awakening, beginning in the late 18th century and extending into the mid-19th, further solidified this religious landscape. Massive outdoor tent revivals and camp meetings became hallmarks of Southern religious life, drawing thousands to hear impassioned preachers. These gatherings, often held in rural settings, fostered intense emotional conversions and communal solidarity. Circuit riders like the legendary Francis Asbury traversed vast distances, bringing the gospel to isolated frontier settlements. Their tireless efforts and the democratic appeal of their message resonated deeply with a population that often lacked formal institutions. This era saw the exponential growth of Baptist and Methodist churches, which would become the dominant religious forces in the South, shaping its social and moral fabric for generations to come. The crucible of the Civil War and its aftermath profoundly reshaped Southern identity, with religion emerging as an even more central pillar. In the devastation of Reconstruction, churches became vital centers of hope, order, and community support. They provided not only spiritual solace but also practical aid, education, and a sense of collective purpose in a fractured society. The war also solidified denominational splits, particularly the Southern Baptist Convention, which had separated from its northern counterparts over the issue of slavery. This period saw the undeniable ascendancy of evangelical denominations, particularly the Southern Baptists, who became synonymous with Southern Protestantism. Their emphasis on biblical literalism, personal salvation, and moral rectitude resonated deeply with a populace seeking meaning and stability. Faith was not merely a private affair, it was a public declaration, a shared cultural marker that distinguished Southerners. Ministers often served as influential community leaders, preaching not only on spiritual matters but also on social and political issues. They championed causes like prohibition, advocating for moral purity in public life. More controversially, during the era of segregation, Many churches, unfortunately, became institutions that upheld and even justified racial hierarchies, reflecting the deeply entrenched social norms of the time. This complex legacy underscores how faith in the South was inextricably linked to its social and political realities, shaping both its virtues and its profound challenges. Throughout the 20th century, the Bible Belt continued to exert a significant influence on American culture and politics. The advent of new media technologies, particularly radio and later television, allowed evangelical leaders to broadcast their messages far beyond local church walls. Figures like Billy Graham became national icons, bringing Southern evangelicalism to a broader audience. This expansion of reach transformed regional religious fervor into a national cultural force. The region became the ideological heartland for conservative political movements, most notably the rise of the moral majority in the 1980s. Led by figures like Jerry Falwell, this movement explicitly linked conservative Christian values with national politics, advocating for policies based on what they perceived as biblical principles. This era saw the Bible Belt's political power coalesce, influencing presidential elections and shaping national debates on social issues. Even today, the cultural and political landscape of the United States is profoundly shaped by values often rooted in the Bible Belt. Debates surrounding issues such as abortion, education, LGBTQ+ rights, and religious freedom frequently draw their intensity and framing from the deeply held convictions prevalent in this region. The influence extends to voting patterns, judicial appointments, and the very language of political discourse, demonstrating the enduring power of this religious stronghold. The Bible Belt is far more than a geographical designation or a collection of church buildings. It represents a profound historical and cultural phenomenon that has defined communities, influenced legal frameworks, and significantly shaped America's identity on the global stage. Its legacy is a complex tapestry woven with threads of fervent faith, communal solidarity, social conservatism, and, at times, deeply entrenched social divisions. For historians, understanding the Bible Belt offers critical insights into the evolution of American religious practice, the dynamics of social movements, and the interplay between faith and power. For religious scholars, it provides a rich case study in denominational growth, theological development, and the lived experience of faith. For Southerners, it is an integral part of their heritage, a source of both pride and ongoing reflection on identity and values. The Bible Belt is not merely a region, it is a living legacy. It is a place where the echoes of colonial revivals, the resilience of post-Civil War communities, and the dynamism of modern evangelicalism have converged to transform not just the South, but the very narrative of America itself. To truly grasp the complexities of American history, culture, and politics, one must endeavor to understand the enduring, multifaceted soul of the Bible Belt. Its story is a testament to the profound and often contradictory ways in which faith has shaped a nation. This is the Scholar's Ledger, where history, faith, and power are revealed. Like, share, subscribe, and join the search for truth.